I know there were a lot of unanswered questions. Don't worry, we have a panel out here. All the questions that you've asked for, we will answer them, okay? Any of the questions that you've missed, including the question that was asked, how can design enhance designers, you know, keep the momentum going, add value? We will answer all your questions, okay? Yeah. We'll just go on to we'll bring on the panelists, and then, yeah.
Thank you, Professor Das. That was extremely inspiring. I especially like the point about how design is a place where we pursue our passion and profession while helping society. Now invite Mr. Sean Dasa, the founder, director of DQ Labs, to brief you about the short competitions being organized today. There are 6 competitions going to be conducted throughout the day. Remember, there are fantastic prizes being sponsored by Stedler India. They also have a stall in the rear, so if any of you need any stationery material, you can reach out to them.
How's the design competition? Okay, so we're going, all of you all have these little post-its, right? So we're going to have a small competition. So there's going to be a lot of competitions going to happen during this whole program today. In fact, they're going to have competitions every 1 hour, okay? So you can, now I want you to draw in these little post-it notes, but I will tell you what to draw, okay? So think of it as a little scene, like a comic strip panel, right? You understand comic panels, right? So a small scene, it should have any human or animal in it. Either human or animal, but it has to have something, okay? So there are prizes that are going to be announced, right? It's just a 5-minute sketch, yeah? But please don't forget to write your name and phone number at the back, because if you are the winner and if we don't have your name at the back, then it's going to be a problem, okay? So for this first competition, including parents can participate. Even parents want to draw, you can. Just write at the back your name and your grade. If you're a student, just write grade 11, grade 12, phone number. If you're a parent, just write parent, okay? Or a guardian, so we know that you're there. So once you've got 5 minutes to draw, 5 minutes, okay? And once you've drawn, you can hand it over to us and we will post it on that wall there, okay? So any kind of panel, just one panel, okay? It doesn't have to be multiple panels, but it has to have some human or some animal in it. And it can be in any style of your choice, okay? Any style of your choice. You got it? Yeah? So a lot of you all here are very, very good artists and good at sketching. And there are some really nice prizes being announced every 2 hours by Stedler. Stedler is going to give you prizes, yeah? Come on, so now you can, one panel, just one panel. So in your, yes, everyone. I cannot. What? Sorry? Okay, you all did not understand here? Okay, so you've got a doodle, you've got this post-it note. All I want is one panel, one like a comic panel, any one. It should have some human or animal or something in it, okay? We want to see your artwork, okay? It's up to you how you fill in that panel, right? In 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Anybody can participate. Parents can participate, students can participate, but don't forget to write your name, your grade, and your phone number at the back, and then you post it on the wall here, okay? We will post it for you. Please start. You can start. No, 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 they can hear. You all understood, right? No? You can hear? No? Okay. I'll come that side. Okay, hi, hi, hi. Hi. Did you all get it? Yeah? All of you all understood? Did you understand? Tell me, what's your question? Huh? You're supposed to draw. I want to see your talent. Draw a panel. You know, no, yeah. When you see these comic strips, you can see each one square is called a panel, right? Any panel of your choice. Anyone. You got it, right? So imagine if it's one panel, but it's got to have some human or some animal in it in any kind of style. Okay, any style of your choice. Okay? Yeah. Are you participating? Yeah, come on. Anybody can participate, not just the ones sitting
Sean?
here.
Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some kids here on this side.
No, 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 no. These are just this is just an example. Okay? It doesn't have to be this. It can be anything. Okay? This is just an example to show you. But it can be anything. Right? Yeah. Any panel, any story of your choice. Your choice. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so I hope all of you are geared to win the competitions through the day. Remember to write your names and mobile numbers in the post-it notes when you submit your sketches. I now invite Mr. Dion Disa, the head of strategy at DQ Labs, to lead the panel discussion. Dion, sir, is passionate about intersection of design, business, and strategy. He led the brand identity change at Mahindra & Mahindra automotive sector in 2013. That's where he was inspired to pursue his passion to link design, business, and strategy. He will lead this panel discussion today with our illustrious panel, representing Professor Anupam Tumar from United Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, Professor Rajaval from School of Design and Innovation, RV University, Bangalore, Professor Thomas Dahl from Strate School of Design, Bangalore, and Mr. Sean Disa, the founder and director of DQ Labs, Bangalore. And the topic today is designers creating value in business. Over to Dion, sir.
I can see some really nice work happening here, including I can see some parents with some good skills. Yeah, very good. Fantastic. Really good. Really good. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah. Don't forget to write your name at the back. If it's a parent, just write parent, okay? Yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you. Thank you, Anika. Professor Anupam Tomar? Yep. Professor Thomas Dahl? Or Toma Dahl? Right? Professor Anupam and Professor Rajavel. All right. So we have a very illustrious panel here, and I'm going to keep this short, right? We're going to keep this very short, and I'm looking at Professor Thomas. Yeah. All right. So we're going to keep this short because we need to move to the workshops next. All right. So I'm going to keep this maximum 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and we move the workshops to 11:30, right? But before that, I'm going to start my stopwatch. And thank you to this illustrious panel here. Professor Rajavel, of course, is an alumni of IIT Delhi as well, very well known to us from a long time. Professor Anupam Tomar from UID Ahmedabad. Now he's, of course, started his design studio here in Bangalore, and very illustrious career. Of course, Thomas Dahl, been in education from a long time, been in corporate industry as well, led corporate from a very, very long time. And then we have Sean as well, who is the founder of DQ Labs, and we'll get right into this discussion. Now, the topic for today is designers creating value in business, right? Now, that's something that every one of us here is worried about. Will we get jobs at the end of it? Do designers really create value, right? So I'm going to throw this question to people that are actually in touch with, with the market, right? So they know the people. So what are your thoughts onto that? From a marketing perspective, how do designers and marketeers work together, or are they always opposing each other?
Thanks, Dion. Very, very nicely positioned question. Yeah, marketeers are in touch with the market and so on and so forth. But what are you going to sell to the market if you don't have anything to sell? And designers are the one who create whatever you're going to take to the market. Of course, designers will come to the marketeers to understand what market needs. They will collaborate with the marketing team to understand the market mood and so on and so forth. But designers are the ones who conceptualize what is needed. They convert the need into a product, or they convert the need into a service. And that is what designers do. That is the creation of the value.
All right, all right, all right. And are there any examples that you can give us where Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Professor. Over to Professor Anupam Tomar, right? Now, are we really creating a culture that appreciates design, that culture that appreciates or honors good design or good products or good services, right? And does that translate into business?
I think first of all, thanks for the lovely invite. And it's a Sunday morning, so I'm sure everyone's kind of settled in anyways. To come to the question, currently, I'll give you the real ground reality, and that is the design studios in all corporates today are probably the most well-placed departments in most companies today. Whether you want to talk about Deloitte or you want to talk about Maruti Suzuki or any other Indian brand, they are given the most value reputation in the entire chain of the ecosystem of the organization, purely because they've realized over the years what important values they can bring in terms of, let's say, I'll give you an example actually. When clients come to me for a particular design project, they send me a sales report. They don't send me a design brief anymore. And many of these organizations send me a sales report of the last, let's say, 3 to 5 years, and they want to see how a designer views a sales report or a marketing report. Now, what they want to see is how can a designer evaluate their product lineup, their designs in the market, and understand what is selling more, what is selling less, what is not selling so much that can be boosted, what clinical or surgical strikes can be done at the marketing level to boost a certain brand or a product. So design is no more all about putting color on a particular product and saying, let's launch a green color or a red color. Today, organizations want to know the metrics that drive success of an organization from a marketing and a sales level also. And if that goes off, that a little haywire, then you see the repercussions down to the last mile, where your products are not selling.
That is absolutely insightful to understand that marketing teams have approached you, and this has happened, right? So marketing teams have approached you with a sales report and said, can we pick this up?
Absolutely.
I think that's a fantastic insight into this. Of course, I still think that the marketing people are still driving somewhere, right? Driving the whole decision somewhere. But let's go to Thomas
Yeah,
now, right? Thomas, you worked in corporate, and you've headed departments for Decathlon. I know that. You've headed design education, right? Now, as a leader, as a person who's worked in both fields, with AI coming into the picture, right? Now, we marketing guys, what we do is, now it's so easy for us to develop new images, new graphics, whatever we want, it's so much easier to do that. Why do I need a designer for that, right? I've got AI to do that.
So yeah, so it's very interesting actually, and it's a challenge that everybody is wondering, is questioning. Why do we need a designer in the coming years? And I believe this is because design, since the last 20 years, is no more about just drawing, okay? It's about understanding what people need, understanding the usage, and then using it to make something that is new. But making something new is easy. You can create something new every 5 seconds, it's easy. Everybody of us is creative. You can use the AI and create some new stuff. I want to make a car that is having the front of a Lamborghini and the rear of a Porsche, and I want it to be gold. Okay, and then the AI will do it for you. Creating something new is easy, but is it going to sell? When you do these kind of new ideas, is it going to sell? There is a lot of products that you can find on Amazon, on Etsy, on whatever, that are new. You've never seen them before, but they are failing. They are not being sold. Nobody is buying them. Why? Because they are not matching with the market requirements. Okay? So creating a new stuff is easy. Finding the right spots of what to create, at what time, and for whom, and at what cost, is where the challenge is. Okay? Because, when I was heading the design of Decathlon, okay, the sport brand, they asked us not to design a super cool shoes. No, the question was different. Question was, this is the market, this is the trends. We need to make a shoes for less than 10 euros as a cost. Then a sale price will be 40, okay? And then as a designer, you need to create knowing how much it's going to cost to build, to manufacture, to make the logistic out of it, how much you will need to spend on the marketing to sell this, and then you can create accordingly. So being a designer without understanding how the full business works, you create monsters that might be super nice monsters, but are not going to be desirable for the market. And this is where, design school, and it's even better now, it's even most in demand now, that companies are not looking at designers that are styling guys anymore. This is finished. You need to really be designers that understand what we call in Strate the 360, which means who you're going to sell, who is interested, what are the technology available, what are the costs, how much can people pay for this service, what are the competitors, and you need to find a full understanding of the market, and then you need to understand how you're going to maybe change the market. Where is the value in the market? An example. A few years ago, and it's a very simple example, many years ago, we all had, these Nokia phones that were able to call. And then a designer, okay, Steve Jobs is a designer. For me, he's a CEO, but he's a designer in his mind. Decided that he needed to change the way people are using phones, okay? And then he made a full build out of this new function and created the product towards this experience that is going to create a need for an object or a system or a service, okay? And understanding business is the key to that. and you need really to be careful when you're looking at a school, that this part of manufacturing, business, human science is embedded deeply into the courses of design. If not, you're going to be like I was 20 years ago, and then you're going to be outdated today.
Fantastic. So what I got from that is that the need for designers is changing, right? 20 years ago, it was aesthetics. Today, it is business. They center their design, what products are required, what services are required, and that translates into their requirement right now. So any potential designers, if you heard that, this is your time to scale up, not in what your skills, but in your mindset, right? Because that's the next requirement. So coming over to Sean, is there an interdisciplinarity, right? Because we spoke about designers working with business. Anupam said, you know, the salespeople are reaching out. And of course, Rajavel said, you know, without the products that designers design, you don't even have the business, right? So is there an interdisciplinarity where designers work with say, marketing teams and finance teams and other teams in industry? Because since you've been at General Motors, yeah?
Yeah. In fact, that's a really good question, specifically for me, because I worked as the design program manager, okay, at General Motors. Now, what does a design program manager do, right? I liaison between the design department, the engineering department, the marketing, sales department, the operations department, right? So I'm like the interface. Because yes, while you have the design department and you have engineering, you need the people who talk in between. Because let's say, for example, if I'm getting criteria from engineering criteria for a car from the engineering department, I need to liaison with design as to they understand each other. And it's like a skin, right? You have the outside, you have the inside, and you have the connection. Now, we all need to work together because whenever a new project comes, like let's say, for example, when the Nano was launched, Tata Nano, right? It created a big buzz all over India because, oh, it's a $2,000 car. In fact, we had a lot of teams that came from all over GM worldwide that came to India, and we had studies, we studied the market. So in that team, we had marketing, we had sales, we had engineering, and we had design. We had to study it together because it's like all your fingers on your palm. Every finger has a use. You can't do without one, and you need to work together. So let's say you have an organization that's very marketing strong or engineering strong and design is suppressed. It's not going to go very far. All the departments add value, and all of them need to work together. And in fact, ironically, the listening in between, the talking in between is the most important.
All right. Interesting perspective that everyone needs to coordinate with it to make a company successful. You can't have one company with a strong marketing department and not a strong design department. It has to grow parallelly, and I'm very happy with that answer. Because at least in some way, even the marketing guys get some sort of value now. Yeah? All right. Since we're running a little behind on schedule, I would like some closing statements from each of y'all, because we have to get in the next session of the workshops. So maybe if we can start off with Professor Rajavel, right? Your final closing statements on this topic, which is designers create value in business. If you can give some final closing statements on this, yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, just to make Dion happy, I might have overstated. I completely agree with what Dion said about interdisciplinarity and multidisciplinarity. No one can operate individually, and that is precisely why we need to acknowledge and agree upon the value brought by designers too. Sometimes engineers kind of overshadow in some organizations. Some organizations, designers, some organizations, marketeers. But the point is, without everyone working together, it cannot happen. A business cannot be successful. Designers will have to be at the table, so-called table. Only then it will be a holistic, improvement. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Professor Tomar?
I think I believe next 30 years are going to be phenomenal for India, and designers will be playing a pivotal role in redefining India. And it's not just Make in India initiatives, but I'm looking at a much larger, I'm talking about a much larger canvas. It is going to be a most phenomenal time for this particular generation who's going to be stepping in and aspiring to be designers. I think that's where I want to close it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Professor Tomar.
So I agree with this. This is a really, really interesting moment to be a young designer because the world is changing towards something that is very interesting. The careers are changing, and our parents were having one life, one job, and the new generation are coming will be 1 year, one job, okay? And it will be mostly about freelancing or being entrepreneur or intrapreneur inside a company. On being able to launch and to control and master a project as a designer will absolutely need to understand how a company works. So a little bit of MBA business and all this kind of stuff is necessary. Finance. If you want to be a freelancer, you will need to understand marketing, manufacturing, logistics, advertising, and everything. And this is where the design jobs are heading towards. And this is absolutely necessary now. You can't avoid understanding business and manufacturing rules before being a designer. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that.
So, in fact, this is a question on so many parents' minds. What is the value that a designer adds to a company, right? So, if you understand this, it's a clear distinction between your confidence on being a designer, because you must understand it's not, it's not like a company has you like for luxury, right? The company needs you. There's a big difference. It's not like, oh, the company can or not do without a designer. It's the other way around. If they do not have a design department, the company won't go far.
Fantastic.
Right? So, like very nicely, Thomas also had put it across that Apple literally, gets their business around design. It's the other way around, right? And that's the value that, or even if you look at companies like that are design driven, they will go so much more ahead, right? And that's why it's for us, it's important to know that designers are very critical in adding value to a company or to a business.
All right, and thank you for that, Sean. And on that note, let's wrap up. We've had a very insightful discussion here, good thoughts shared. And just to conclude from what Rajavel said, that designers are very collaborative at this stage. There needs to be an interdisciplinarity. We need to work across departments, and of course, these are thoughts reflected across the entire panel as well. As Anupam Tomar said, the next 30 years is outstanding for India, and designers are going to play a pivotal role in that journey. As Thomas said, the whole ecosystem is changing, We're going from, having jobs to being freelancers or entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, right? And that's a huge shift in mindset, and whole companies need to restructure their thought processes. And as Sean said, you know, we're going to go, the companies like Apple are very, very significant to take us ahead. The whole thought process is changing from, engineering driven companies to design being centric, and then the whole company being revolved around that. Thank you to the entire panelists. Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful conversation with you all. Right?
Okay, so